turn the lights on. Forward. You want to write it up? Have you done it before? Here it is. Maybe you play Madanga, right? Wonder if someone else could write the board up. You write the board? Do you want to write the board? Okay. Hare Krishna, Jaya Radha Madhava, Kunja Bihari, Jaya Radha Madhava, Kunja Bihari, Jaya Gopijana Vallabha, Girivardhani, Vallabha, Girivardhani. Yasodanandana Brajajana Ranjana Yasodanandana Brajajana Ranjana Yamuna Tiravanachari Tiravanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Gopijana Vallabha Girivardhani Labha Girivardhani Yasodanandana Brajajana Ranjana Yasodanandana Brajajana Ranjana Yamuna Tiravanachari Tiravanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Gopijana Vallabha Girivardhani Jana Vallabha Girivardhani Yasodanandana Brajajana Ranjana Yasodanandana Brajajana Ranjana Yamuna Tiravanachari Anachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Gopijana Vallabha Girivardhani Gopijana Vallabha Girivardhani Yasodanandana Brajajana Ranjana Yamuna Tiravanachari Yamuna Tiravanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari 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 Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada. Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada. Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. Jayam Vishmad, Paramahamsa, Parivakacharya, Stadra Sadashi Shimad, His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki. Nantakoti Vaishnavana Ki. ISKCON founder Acharya, His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki. Nama Acharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki. Prem Sekar Ho Shri Krishna Caitanya, Prabhu Nityananda, Shri Advaita, Gadadhara Shivasati Gaura Bhaktivinoda Ki. Shri Shri Radha Krishna Go Gopinath Shama Kunda Radha Kunda Giri Govardhana Ki. Vrindavanam Ki, Mayapur Dham Ki, Jagannath Puri Dham Ki, Ganga Maya Ki, Yamuna Maya Ki, Tulsa Devi Ki, Samaveda Bhaktivinoda Ki, Harinam Sankirtan Ki, Priyat Madanga Book Distribution Ki, New Govardhana Dham Ki, Go Premanande, Hare Hare Bo. All glories to assembled devotees, Hare Krishna. All glories to assembled devotees, Hare Krishna. All glories to assembled devotees, Hare Krishna. All glories to Shri Shri Guru and Shri Gauranga. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Lucas, can you get down my phone? It's just behind in there, please. Jai Jai Shri Caitanya Jaya Nityananda, Jai Jai Shri Caitanya Jaya Nityananda, Jai Advaita Chandra Jai Gaura Bhaktivinda, Jai Advaita Chandra Jai, Jai Jai Shri Caitanya Jaya Nityananda, Jai Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhaktivinoda. Today we're reading from the Sri Caitanya Caritamrita Adi Leela, chapter 17, entitled Pastimes of the Lord in His Youth, text 53. Sandhi samhariti mora e avatara, Sandhi samhari bhakti karimu pachara, Sandhi samhariti mora e avatara, Sandhi samhari bhakti karimu pachara, Sandhi samhariti mora e avatara, Sandhi samhari bhakti karimu pachara. Sandhi samhariti mora e avatara, Sandhi samhari bhakti karimu pachara. Anyone else like to have a go? Anyone outside want to chant the sloka? Any Marajis? Okay. Pasandi, demons, atheists. Samharite, to kill. Mora, my. This. Avatara, incarnation. Pasandi, atheist. Samhari, killing. Bhakti, devotional service. Karimu, I shall do. Prachara, preaching. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. I have appeared in this incarnation to kill the demons, pasandis, and after killing them to preach the cult of devotional service. Please repeat. I have appeared in this incarnation to kill the demons, Pasandis, and after killing them, to preach the call of devotional service. Purport: Lord Chaitanya's mission is the same as that of Lord Krishna, as stated in Bhagavad Gita. Yada yada hidamasya glane bhavati bharata abhyutanam tamasya tadatmanam srijamyaham paritranaya sarunam vinashaya chaduskritam dhamma samstapanataya sambhavami yuge yuge. Whenever and wherever there is a decline of religious practice, O descendant of Bharat, and a predominant rise of irreligion, at that time I descend myself, in order to deliver the pious and to annihilate the miscreants, as well as to re-establish the principles of religion. I advent myself millennium after millennium. Bhagavad Gita 4:7-8. As explained here, the real purpose of an incarnation of Godhead is to kill the atheists and maintain the devotees. He does not say, like so many rascal incarnations, that both atheists and devotees are on the same platform. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, or Lord Sri Krishna, the real personality of Godhead, does not advocate such an idea. Atheists are punishable, whereas devotees are to be protected. To maintain this principle is the mission of all avatars, or incarnations. One must therefore identify an incarnation by his activities, not by popular votes or mental concoctions. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gave protection to devotees and killed many demons in the course of his preaching work. He specifically mentioned that the Mayavadi philosophers are the greatest demons. Therefore, he warned all others not to hear the Mayavad philosophy. Mayavadi basya sunili haya savanash. Simply by hearing the Mayavad interpretation of the Shastras, one is doomed. From C.C. Majulila 6:169. Translation: I have appeared in this incarnation to kill the demons Pasandis, and after killing them to preach the cult of devotional service. Om Ajnana Timrandasya Garanjana Salakaya Chakshumalatam Jaina Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Mukam Karati Vachalam Pangam Langati Garim Yat Kripatam Aham Vande Shri Gurum Dinataranam. Hare Krishna, thank you everyone for coming to class today. So, this is the continuation of the pastimes of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So, he's come to kill the demons and preach the call of devotional service and protect the devotees. So all the different incarnations, they come for these reasons, as Prabhupada quotes these verses from Bhagavad Gita. To protect the devotees, kill the demons, and re-establish religious principles. But when we see that Lord Chaitanya's stating that he appears in this incarnation to kill the demons, and Prabhupada says that Lord Chaitanya's mission is the same, we understand that he's not killing them outright, physically, but he's killing their demoniac spirit. All the previous incarnations, as we read in the Srimad Bhagavatam, like Lord Krishna, Lord Nrsingadev, Varaha, they all killed big demons who were actual eternal associates of Krishna, of the Lord, from the spiritual world, who descended with Krishna, because Krishna can't fight. There's no demons in the spiritual world, so he can't exhibit this propensity of fighting in the spiritual world. So he brings some of his associates down to this material world to fight with. But in this age of Kali, Lord Chaitanya, the most merciful incarnation, he doesn't kill the demons outright, but just kills their demoniac spirit and brings them to the platform of devotional service of Krishna consciousness. Because we understand if Lord Chaitanya was going to outright kill everyone in this age, he'd have to kill everyone, because we're all born demons or brought up in demoniac families. Even 500 years ago, when Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appeared, there was only a few demons, like few Jagai and Madais, who were, woman hunters, addicted to drinking and stealing and lying and meat eating. But Prabhupada said now Kali Yuga is so advanced that there's thousands and millions of Jagais and Madais addicted to all these bad habits. So Prabhupada said, we're saving, this Krishna consciousness movement is saving, wholesale saving millions of jagas and madhais. So Lord Chaitanya came to kill the demoniac spirit by spreading the Sankirtan movement, the chanting of the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. In the Srimad Bhagavatam 11th canto, it says, Krishna Vanam Trisa Krishnam, Sango Pargangasha Pashadam, Yagnai Sankirtam Braja, Yajanta Hishamedasham. That in this age of Kali, the Lord comes, he comes in a form which is not blackish, it's like golden complexion, but he comes with his associates, confidential companions, servants, and weapons. So what are his weapons? His beauty, his pastimes, his and the spreading of the Sankirtan movement. Specifically the Yuga Dham, the chanting of the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, the great chant for deliverance. The holy name of Krishna is not different from Krishna himself. It's stated in the scriptures, Nama Chintamani Krishnas Caitanya Rasa Vigraha Purnasudo Nitya Mukto Vinatvam Nama Namano. That the holy name of Krishna is not different from his form, from his pastimes, from his qualities. The holy name is absolute. Srila Prabhupada would give the example that you can chant, if you're thirsty, you can chant water, 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 but it's not going to quench your thirst. You have to actually get the physical water, and then you can quench the thirst. But when you chant Hare Krishna, it's directly the Supreme Personality of Godhead we're associating with, and we're giving out to one and all. So very, very powerful. The holy name has the potency to deliver even the most fallen personalities, which is all of us, in Kali Yuga, to the most elevated platform of being a fully 100% pure devotee of Krishna, which is our eternal occupational position. And we can't claim anything in Kali Yuga. We have no Krishna conscious background, no even material good qualities, not even any of the material mode of goodness practically all immersed in the mode of passion and ignorance. One devotee said to Prabhupada, no, I'm the most fallen. Prabhupada said, you're not the most of anything. So that's it, we're not the most of anything. We don't have any claim to fame. But through this process of Nam Sankirtan, chanting Hare Krishna, dancing in ecstasy, taking prasadam, hearing this philosophy, rendering some service, then we can, and in the association of so many wonderful devotees, we can very quickly be elevated to a pure platform where all the natural qualities of the soul can be exhibited. As in the Bhagavatam states, Yashasti Bhakti Bhagavati Yakinchana Savai Gunas Tatra Samastate Sara. One who has unflinching devotion to Krishna has all the good qualities of the demigods. But one who has no devotion to Krishna, no matter how expert he is in the material field, has no good qualities. So yesterday, did anyone go to the Rath Yatra yesterday in Brisbane? It was a very ecstatic festival, and part of the stage performance was Bhakta Daniel doing his rap dancing and so many wonderful, amazing Krishna conscious lyrics. And one of his rap songs was he's singing about all the different demons killed by Krishna. So it's amazing how he puts it all together, and it's just a wonderful ability he's been given by Krishna. So Krishna, he killed many, many demons, but Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he's saving the whole world, Patita Pavana, the savior of the most fallen. So this Krishna consciousness movement, it's said, will go down in history as saving the world in its darkest hour. So we have a big responsibility as followers of Srila Prabhupada, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and all their associates to spread this Krishna consciousness as much as possible by not only sharing this Krishna consciousness with devotees, but giving it en masse to thousands and millions of people who would never come to the temple, right? In Kali Yuga, people don't come to the temple for the most part. We have to take the temple out to them. Rathayatra, Harinam Sankirtan, book distribution, Prashadam distribution. In this way we can reach, millions of people. Just like I was thinking about recently that, of course, book distribution, Prashadam distribution is very, very powerful and very important activities. But many, many people, they will refuse to take books, and even many people, refuse to take Prashadam. Many, many people will never go to a Hare Krishna restaurant, although lots of people are. But I was thinking, Harinam Sankirtan is very, very important, because when we go out, no matter where people are at in their consciousness, they can't avoid the Harinam Sankirtan, right? Everyone who's out there, when the Harinam, whether small or big party like the Rath Yatra yesterday, they're forced to hear the holy names. As many devotees would say, you just have to have faith in the name Prabhu, faith in the holy name Prabhu. Davandar Pandit in my house was reminding me this morning that this is mentioned in Burijan Prabhu's book. So we have to have this implicit faith in the holy names, the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. And of course, these activities can be combined, like yesterday, book distribution, Prashadam, Harinam, all together. Like Vaisheshika Prabhu in America, he has his monthly Sankirtan parties, and they go out, book table, Harinam, Prashadam. And we've done that a few times, sometimes just for a small amount of time. Sometimes we organise like 24-hour Harinam book distribution Prashadam over 2 days, over Saturday and Sunday, like 12 hours each day. And I was thinking, we should do that again, have a monthly festival like that and really push. We should be like in people's faces all the time. People should like be constantly thinking, that I see those Hare Krishna guys chanting everywhere, wherever I go. And that should be on the holy name, or the devotee should be on their consciousness all the time. And the more they think of Hare Krishna, the more they think of devotees, the more they're going to get purified and be able to get more association of devotees, get the chance to come to these wonderful transcendental communities. So that's my dream, to start like a Sankirtan festival like that once a month. If anyone is keen to join, we can get it going. Of course, I'm just a washed up householder, so it's like Prabhupada said, a man he's trying to make his clay pots, and he's like on the wheel, making his pots, and in his mind he's like dreaming, if I just make these couple of pots, then I can sell the pot and I can get more clay and make more pots, then I can get more and more money. One day I'll have enough money to build a big house and get a wife and enjoy life so much. And then he's thinking in his dream like that as he's making the pots. But if my wife, if she plays up, then I'll kick her. And as he's dreaming like that, he kicks the pots, and his one single pot is like smashed to pieces. So that's like me. I'm just a washed up greenhouse, and I'm dreaming like this, how to increase the Sankirtan. But together, if we can all do it together, then we can do something. Like Prabhupada said, no, we can't do much by ourselves, but hundreds or thousands of devotees. Like yesterday, what is the effect? Such wonderful preaching. So Prabhupada goes on to say here that the real purpose of the incarnation of Godhead is to kill the atheists and maintain the devotees. It does not say, like so many rascal incarnations, that both atheists and devotees are on the same platform. So there's many pseudo so-called incarnations of the Lord and Mayavadi philosophers, impersonal philosophers, who are preaching like this, that it's all one, whether, one is a devotee or an atheist. We have to see them all equally. Of course, on a higher platform like an Uttama Adhikari, he does see everyone equally. He sees that all living beings, whether the atheists or the pious or the animals or the human beings or the demigods, they're all devotees of Krishna. And he sees that he's the only non-devotee. So this is a very, very elevated platform. But for preaching, we have to come to the Madhyam platform where we make distinctions. Like in the 11th canto of the Bhagavatam, it says, Ishvare tarihin ishu balashechu dusatsucha prema maitri kupopeksha yakaroti samajjima. That a preaching devotee, he makes distinctions. He sees his highest object of worship and love as the Supreme Lord, Krishna. He makes friends with the devotees. He avoids those who are envious by nature. And this way he makes different distinctions. So this is like in our preaching Krishna consciousness, Krishna, or Lord Caitanya, is our highest, most worshipable object of love. And we have to make friends with all the devotees. Oh, that's right. Friends with the devotees, be merciful to the ignorant, and avoid those who are envious by nature. 4 distinctions we make. So many people, they're just innocent by nature. They like the devotees. They like seeing the devotees chanting in the streets. They like prasadam. They like to get our books. But there's also a section of society out there, they're very, very averse, very, very atheistic and envious, maybe blasphemous. So we have to avoid those sort of personalities. Just give them the holy name. And maybe if they're willing to take some prasad, here, have another curd pakora. Here's a burfi. Like that. Somehow engage people according to where they're at. So this is the nature of this material world. There's always so many impersonalist philosophers teaching that everyone is God. You are God, I'm God, everything is God. No, can worship the light bulb, that is God. Or worship some, naked woman, that is God. But no, Krishna's not God. The Prabhupada would say, if everything is God, if God is everywhere, why is God not present in the deity form on the altar? There was one Mayavadi philosopher, and he was saying, there's no God. If there was a God, how come there's this big acorn tree and there's these tiny little acorns on the tree? And then I see a pumpkin vine in the field, and it's got these huge pumpkins. That doesn't make sense. If I was God, I would put the big pumpkin in the big tree, and I would put the little acorn on the thin vine. That makes more sense to me. As he was thinking like this, a little acorn fell out of the huge tree, hit him on the head, and he went, oh, my God, thank God I'm not God. Otherwise I would have been killed. So, and Prabhupada said if they are claiming to be an incarnation, then they have to lift, like Govardhana hill, on their little finger and hold it there for 7 days. Or they have to perform all these amazing pastimes that Krishna or Caitanya are performing. Or they have to drink an ocean of poison like Lord Shiva. Then they can claim they're an incarnation. And Prabhupada said they have to be mentioned in the authorized scriptures. None of these so-called incarnations, like especially coming from India, Prabhupada says that every street corner you can find the next incarnation. He says especially in Bengal. No, there's thousands of incarnations, so-called incarnations. But nowhere any of them mentioned in the scriptures. All the incarnations of Krishna, they mention their names, their parents, where they appeared, when they appeared, the different pastimes, their qualities, markings on their body. But all these so-called incarnations, they're all dying. They're all going through the process of getting old, dying, disease, and taking birth again. And Prabhupada said they are not God. Once Prabhupada was speaking in the audience, one man put his hand up and said, I am God. Prabhupada said, you are not God, you're a dog. Another man once said, I'm God. And Prabhupada said, you're a suffering God. Krishna's the enjoying God. You're the suffering God. And another time, one man said, "I'm God," and Prabhupada said, we offer our respects to you, now get out of here. And Prabhupada said, you should bring all these rascal atheists, Mayavadis, to me, and I'll kick them in the head with my shoe. And the disciple said, preferably Prabhupada with a steel frame boot. Of course, Prabhupada would never do that literally, but but Prabhupada was very keen to preach to these big Mayavadi philosophers. Not only Mayavadi philosophers, but religious leaders, big people in society. Big philosophers, religious leaders, Mayavadi, impersonalists, government leaders. Prabhupada said, you preach to the mass, I preach to the class. So we're maybe not so expert to, preach to very big people in society, but we can preach to the mass by massive Sankirtan in the streets like yesterday. And yesterday after the Rath Yatra, I was talking to a couple of the police officers there, and they were very, very favourable. The lady she said she's been in the police force a long time. She said she's been here to the farm. She's done the farm tour. They've taken prasadam. They love prasadam at Gopal's, Govinda's. And they were sitting down with Ramai Swami and Vasishrestha Prabhu, different devotees, taking prasadam. And we gave them, I went up, I had some burfis from the farm here, and I went up and gave them all some burfis. And they were so favourable, I couldn't believe it. So if you have a chance to, preach or make friends with these important people in society, it's very wonderful preaching. Like Damodar Pandit, he was also saying that Prabhupada would say that if you preach to the top people in society, it's like a top to bottom philosophy. You preach to the top people, they can influence hundreds or thousands or millions of other people. So it's very, very important. And Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, we see that he was preaching to big scholars, big Mayavadi philosophers, Prakashananda Saraswati, Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya. Any others that anyone can think of? They were some of the prominent Mayavadi philosophers at the time they had thousands of followers. And he turned them into devotees. Prakashananda Saraswati, he had, I can't remember, but he had, thousands of, or hundreds of thousands of sannyasi disciples. And they all turned to Krishna consciousness by the purity and power and mercy of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So anything's possible by the potency of this Krishna consciousness philosophy. Anything's possible by the potency of the holy name, the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, by distributing these books, by prasadam distribution. As we see, over the years, thousands and thousands of people have taken to Krishna consciousness through this very powerful principle of taking up Krishna consciousness. And devotees are very keen to give this Krishna consciousness to others because they understand that no one can be happy without Krishna consciousness. There's no one in this world, Srila Prabhupada says, from Lord Brahma down to the tiny ant who is happy without Krishna consciousness. And Krishna says that in the Bhagavad Gita. He says, Nastya abodhya yuktasya na cha yuktasya bhavana. He says that one who is not connected with the process in Krishna consciousness can neither have transcendental intelligence nor a steady mind, without which cannot be any peace, and without peace, how can one be happy? So we see, devotees see that everyone is in anxiety, everyone is miserable, no matter how hard they try, no matter how rich or famous they are in this world, no one is satisfied, no one is actually happy. Because the simple example, they're trying to clean the cage, but they forget to feed the bird inside the cage. You have a bird in the cage, if you dust the cage all the time, but you don't feed the bird dies, right? So people are pampering to the needs of the body, eating, sleeping, mating and defending, gratifying the senses in so many ways, so many sinful ways, intoxication, meat eating, gambling, illicit sex, but they're only bringing upon more sinful reactions, more misery. And the soul is perishing, is dying. The soul actually wants an unlimited, unending ocean of happiness. This is Krishna consciousness. Anandam Buddhivardhanam. It's an ever-increasing ocean of bliss and happiness. The more we dive into that ocean, the more we become ecstatic. Just like we were dancing before, the more the kirtan is going, the more we become in ecstasy. And if you went for hours, the ecstasy would just increase more and more. But the more you try and enjoy material happiness, the more it becomes stale and you become sick of it. Like kids chewing gum, it has some taste, and then the taste goes. And you know, intelligent person won't keep chewing the chewing gum, right? But you see kids, there's no sweetness in the chewing gum, and they take it out and they stick it under the desk at school, and later on they have another chew. Chewing the chew, right? It's like sugar cane. People chew the sugar cane, and when there's no juice left, they're still trying to chew it, still trying to get some juice. This is the nature of the material world. Even though the juice becomes stale and hackneyed, people are still trying to squeeze some juice out of material pleasures because they don't have the higher taste, param drisvani vatade, the higher taste of Krishna consciousness. Then they cannot evolve from that lower taste. So yesterday, it was a wonderful example of the power of Krishna consciousness, the power of preaching. And we saw even the policeman and the minister of parliament, they came on stage and they were glorifying our wonderful Rath Yatra festival and saying that, you know, we need this sort of, these festivities more in our city to bring more peace in the city and union of all types of people together. So somehow or other, this Krishna consciousness movement can give peace and happiness and save people from the most horrible sufferings in this material world, and save this world in its darkest hour from so many disasters. As we see so many disasters all around the world: wars, floods, earthquakes, droughts, famine, so much social violence, murders, etc. It's just unending. Kali Yuga, it's an ocean of faults. Kalodo Shened Herajana. Ocean of faults, but Astahekan Mahadgana. There's one great quality. Kirtana Deva Krishna Shah. Simply by chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Mukta Sangha Param Vijet. In the 12th canto, it says one can be promoted to the topmost platform of Krishna consciousness, go back home, back to Godhead, back to Goloka Vrindavan. This whole Krishna consciousness process and movement is directly transported from Goloka Vrindavan, from the topmost planet in the spiritual world, Goloka Premadana Harinama Sankirtana. This chanting of Hare Krishna is directly transported from Goloka Dham. But Rati Najan Milokenatai, we're so unfortunate we don't have a taste for the chanting of Hare Krishna. I remember my spiritual master, Tamal Krishna Goswami, he said once he tried to, on a Kodasi, he used to stay up all night in the Kodasi, and not eat, full fast, and he just read and chant. And one time he tried to chant 192 rounds, like Haridas Thakur did, Namacharya Haridas Thakur. And he realized that he didn't really have a taste for chanting Hare Krishna. He was just doing it mechanically. Of course, he was being humble, he was a great soul, and he did have a lot of taste for chanting and the process of Krishna consciousness. But we can experiment sometime. We chant, go beyond the, what do they say? Go beyond the limit. 16 rounds. That doesn't mean, Prabhupada says at least 16 rounds. If we have a chance to chant more than 16 rounds, then we should take that opportunity. Sometimes we can test, chant 25, 32, 64, 108. See if we actually have a taste for chanting Hare Krishna. Of course, Prabhupada said we don't have time. You don't have time to chant more than 16 rounds. You have so much to do, so much service to do in Krishna consciousness, in maintaining these temples and spreading Krishna consciousness. Once in the early days in Vrindavan, some of the sannyasis, they'd just taken sannyas and they were thinking, now I'm sannyas, I can chant 32 rounds, 64 rounds a day. Prabhupada got very upset and they were chanting all day long and not doing any service. Prabhupada said, you don't have time to chant more than 16 rounds. You have to build these temples, preach, distribute these books, make life members. But especially when we go to the holy dhams, we can increase our sadhana. Like I know Burijan Prabhu, he has his holy name retreats. If you ever go to Vrindavan, Burijan Prabhu and Jagadharani and Satyanandana Swami, and one day they get everyone to chant 64 rounds. So somehow or other we have to, all of us, try and give Krishna consciousness to whoever we meet. In this way we can all become a spiritual master and deliver everyone in the land. Lord Caitanya gave that mandate. So just like one day I was on the way to the Gold Coast and I was going the back way through Currumbin and I stopped at a secluded petrol station. I just had to go to the bathroom and I thought, why not take some books in and try and show them at the same time? And I went in and they ended up buying like $50, $60 worth of books, the owners of the petrol station. Then I said, oh, do you have a toilet here? And he said, sorry, we don't have a toilet. So Krishna made me stop. And then I got a real estate agent the other day from Murwillumbah to come and just do an appraisal on my house, on the value of the house. And he was a really nice guy, and he said he grew up in Murwillumbah, and I said, do you know much about the Hare Krishnas? He said, no, not really, even though I lived here as a kid. But I do know that you guys were feeding us in the floods, like for 2 weeks straight. You were coming to our house in South Murwillumbah where the water came up into our second story, and you were giving us hot meals every night. And he was like really, really touched. And so I thought, oh, this guy's like prime candidate for the books. And he was like walking through the house, seeing all the pictures, and we were saying, oh, that's beautiful. And he was saying, there's something about this room, this temple room of yours, it feels really special. I can't pin it what it is, but it feels really special. All the devotees and the kirtan that's gone on there and prasadam. And then so I thought, yeah, I've got to show him some books. So I showed him some books. He bought like $50 worth of books. So whatever, even the workers that come here, you give them prasadam, show them books, bring them to the temple. And I remember I was taking Bharat. I don't know if Bharat's here at the moment, but I was taking him shop to shop years ago. We were in the Blue Mountains in somewhere Springwood, Mount Victoria, doing shop to shop, and I just do everything: butcher shops, go into bottle shops. We go into the pubs, nightclubs, whatever. Just give everyone a chance. So I walked into a butcher shop, and Bharat, he just like, as soon as I entered the butcher shop, he turned and walked the other way. He wouldn't come in. And that guy ended up buying a book. And quite often I used to find the butchers, they're happy to give a donation, take a book. And sometimes go into the pubs and get permission, go around, all the people drinking, they'd buy books, or go into the games room where they're like doing what do they call them? Pokie machines. And, sometimes people are about to put money in, they give you books instead of putting it in the machine. They give you money and take some books instead of putting the money in the machine. One guy said, oh, no, I take the books, and he just puts his 50 straight in the machine. So But, anywhere and everywhere, on the plains, the beaches. In Sydney, we used to do the Christmas marathons in December, and devotees still do it down there. And we go out 30 days straight in December. And, we'd stay out till about 10 o'clock most nights. And the last week we'd really push it, stay out to midnight. And, all day working the streets and the shopping malls, the food courts. And then in the night time doing the pubs and restaurants. And then we'd end up in King's Cross, like doing the nightclubs all night long till midnight. And come home, crash out. And then we'd sleep and just get up at 6 or 7 and chant our rounds. We wouldn't attend the program, just chant our rounds, have breakfast, straight out again. I was very, very ecstatic. And the last day we'd stay out till like about 6:30 in the morning, working the cross till 6:30 in the morning, selling books, selling stickers. And then we'd come home, have a shower and greet the deities. And then the temple president would read out all the marathon scores, give out prizes. We'd have a huge feast like cheesecake, curd sabji, gulab jamans, ice cream, pizza. We have a huge feast and we crash out like till 1 o'clock in the afternoon, and then there'd be big Harinam Sankirtan. Indra Swami used to come for many years, Bibi Govinda Maharaj. We'd have like 100 devotees going out every day for a week, like doing 2 Harinams, one in the city, one in the suburbs. And then New Year's Eve, like, 100, 200 devotees down at Circular Quay, 1 million people on the foreshore, whatever, doing Harinam up till midnight. And then we'd watch the fireworks and go home. So, yeah, so many wonderful opportunities to preach Christian consciousness. Once I was in a town, Walgett, it's like 800 kilometres west of here. It's just a tiny little town, couple of thousand people. Half the shops are barred up because there's a lot of violence with white people and Aboriginals there. And I went to the IGA supermarket, and lo and behold, they're all Indians working there. Indians working everywhere you go. And so I showed them like the Krishna book and Bhagavad Gita, and straight away once he just pulls out a $100 note. Here you go. Takes a few hardcovers. Next Indian guy, same thing, gives the $100. Next one, $100. And then they said to me, okay, we want you to like chant Hare Krishna, sing Hare Krishna outside the supermarket. So they got me to chant with the cartels like outside the supermarket. And they were filming. And then went to the next town, the butcher shop. Like, I did a Harinam just round the street, and then I went doing books after that, and the butcher shop said, hey, come in here, we want you to chant inside the butcher shop. So they got me doing Harinam like round the butcher shop, and they opened the freezer door with all the carcasses, chant in there. So I went in the freezer, like, chanting to the carcasses. And then the guys bought a lot of books, even vegetarian cookbook as well as Bhagavad Gita. And then another town, Brewarrina, just a small town, like 1,000 people. It was a Prabhupada disciple living out there. I stayed with him, and I went to the pub there, and they had loud music playing. And I was like over the counter trying to speak to this guy, and he could hardly hear me. And he said, oh, you're Hare Krishna. I used to go to your temple in North Sydney all the time. And he bought a stack of books. And then I said, is anyone else working here might like to have a look at the books? And he said, yeah, my wife out the back. Go and show her. So I went out the back, and she bought like some cookbooks and other books. So you just don't know, even in these small towns. I went to one little town like south of Sydney, Bargo. It's just like 10 shops. You might know Bargo, down there, Picton there. And myself and Adi Keshava, we were at that time doing Harinam, and all the small little towns, we do Harinam first up, 9 o'clock in the morning, as soon as the shops open. Then after that, do the shops with books. There's like 10 or 12 shops, so we had six shops each. And I went into the chicken shop, and there's a lady working behind the counter. She said, I used to come to your farm at Kola River all the time. Yeah, I'll get some books. She took a whole stack of books. So you just don't know who's going to be interested in Christian consciousness. And we have to be there for these people to give them more and more opportunities to serve, to take the books, to get prasadam, to hear the holy name, invite them to the temple. In this way, be a follower and servant of Srila Prabhupada and Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and try and purify the atmosphere in this Kali Yuga and bring more and more people to the family of Christian consciousness. No, all of us were just like those people out there in the street just a few months ago, a few years ago. We had no idea, right? And it was only because of the mercy of Srila Prabhupada and his devotees that we're here today. Somehow we got a chance. I mean, I just saw an invitation in the youth hostel in Fremantle in Perth for the Sunday feast. No, I actually got a Bhagavad Gita first. My brother got a Bhagavad Gita. He thinks he got it in the... he thinks he got a coupon. It said, send away for a free copy of Bhagavad Gita. He thinks he got that coupon in the show bag in Sydney show, because we used to get the show bags as kids in Sydney show. And he thinks the devotees were probably going around... well, I thought the devotees were going around slipping the coupons in the show bags. So we got the show bag, and he gets this coupon. He sends away for a free Bhagavad Gita. He wasn't reading it, so I said, no, what's that book you got? So I started reading it, and it seemed to be very amazing philosophy. I only read the introduction, then went travelling around Australia working, and I forgot to take her with me. But then somehow that started my Christian consciousness, and then I got to Perth. I saw the invitation on the notice board for free Sunday feast, free vegetarian feast, yoga, meditation. So I went along, and I couldn't find the house. In those days, you didn't have like GPS. I couldn't find the street, and I almost gave up. Then I saw the street name, and I went there. It was just a house in the suburb. Knocked on the door, and the devotees, come in, welcome. And I was like, welcome to the spiritual world. And Sunday feast was about to start, and they said, sit down, there's hundreds of books like to read. And then this kirtan started, and straight away I was attracted to like dancing, and then the class was on and was like making a lot of sense, and the feast was served, and no, it was so nice, the Sunday feast, like 2 sabjis, rice, dal, pakoras, puris, halva sweet rice, and burfi, like that. And I had a second helping. Then I was so touched by the devotees, like this wonderful program, wonderful feast. At the end I said, what can I do to help? And they said, here's a mop. You can mop all the rooms in the house. So I mopped the whole house, and then they gave me a lot of books, free books. They gave me a lot of small books to take home and to give to other people. And then they said, we got a restaurant downtown. So I was very eager. Such nice food. I went to the restaurant the next day, and it was like, in those days it was $5 all you can eat. This is like talking 38 years ago. And then I was thinking, I'll eat as much as I can. And then the devotees they said, would you like one of these caramel slices? And I said, yeah, and they gave me one for free. And the next day they said, I came in again, they said, if you want one of those caramel slices, you'll have to wash the pots. So I thought, okay, I'll wash the pots to get the caramel slice. So then I washed the pots in the kitchen, and they gave me a caramel slice, and then I had a taste for serving, So the devotee is very expert, engaging. This is how we should be, expert to engage people in doing service. This is the secret, right? Engaging people in devotional service. Then people get a taste. Because even washing the pots, right? It's like you can wash pots all day long, and it's super ecstatic, right? I used to do it in Sydney temple all the time. And Prabhupada said you should wash the pots so much that the black on the bottom is looking like a shining mirror, so that you can see your face in the bottom of the pot. So it's like Krishna consciousness is cleansing the heart. Our hearts are full of black and so much contamination, but when we cleanse the heart, we can see the soul and the super soul within the heart. This process is so purifying. So we'll end there. Does anyone have any questions or comments? Any experiences in Krishna consciousness you'd like to share? You have the microphone. Back to Lucas. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Rupa, for the class. I kind of had an experience yesterday after the Rath Yatra. We kind of got to the festival, and after that I was feeling kind of lost. I was kind of on my own, still with all the devotees, but I was just kind of looking around like, what's the next thing to do now? And it was kind of like I didn't know what to do with myself. But then I went and found Shastra and Kana, and because I was kind of feeling a bit lost after that, and we just started talking about Krishna, and Shastra was just kind of so enthusiastic preaching, and I just felt as soon as we was then talking about Krishna, I didn't feel that kind of lost feeling anymore, because I was kind of engaged, like you were saying, being engaged in service. Shastra kind of engaged me by just kind of talking about Krishna in that moment, and then I just felt so kind of like whole within that. So that was just the experience that I felt yesterday that I thought I'd like to share.
Yeah, that's a wonderful realization. Just hearing the philosophy, hearing about Krishna from someone exalted like Shastra Prabhu, so much realization. So yeah, it's very important to get the association of these devotees, hear from them as much as possible, serve them, help them in their service, and they can maybe help you do some other particular service to help in the preaching. So yeah, like yesterday, like even though, you may have not been rostered on some particular service at the festival, you can just jump in and say, hey, Prabhu's going to help serving out the prasadam, going to help in the book table, going to help in the deity tent, you know. And devotees will welcome you with open arms to just jump in and do some service there, you know. And or just meet people and talk to people as they're walking around, as they're just like I did with the police. You know, just anyone could have just walked up to those police officers. They were just so favourable and so open, you know, and just started talking to them and find out, you know, sort of what they know about Krishna consciousness if they go to the restaurant, you know, and then from there you can give them more. Anyone else like to share something? Question? So I think there's Sunday Harinam today, going to the markets. Does anyone know which town today? Nimbin. Oh, yeah, it's the Mardi Gras. Right. What time leaving here, do you know? 11:30. Okay, so if you, there'll be like thousands of people out there. It's the big day today out there. Thousands of people. If you have the opportunity, it's a wonderful experience going on Harinam in Nimbin. I've done it a few times, and so many people favourable out there. And, you know, usually there's one or two devotees doing books, like Chara. He's probably out there today. So take advantage if you have the opportunity to go and do Harinam Sankirtan in Nimbin. Jai. Shri Caitanya Caritamrita ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Prasadam ki jai. Hare Krishna, sorry to hold anyone up from Prasadam. Hope there's some left for everyone here. Jai. There's never any shortage, right? Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Where's Krishna? Thank you. Where's Krishna? Oh, yeah. Where's that? Ipswich. Oh, nice. Cool. How many days? You're going away? Where to? Carnarvon. Where's that? Okay. On the coast.